The three square men from Wudge are aggravating the poet and artist Alison Knowles about Talitha Getty. There's a serious waft of misog in the weft, gilders in machineries for the dreft. 600 wiles across the countryside smiles nice as the verbals ensue. The trick of the debate is not to apportion blame, nor to concede, clocking in the shout of a paucity of movement, up, down, a poor city, a porosity, a parasite, a military weave. Alison Knowles had had it up to both ears. The Fluxer slot, the 1981 promise, had not got off its knees to provide even half a reason for these trees. This pulp to make viscous, to acid drip in sulphuric, for the providing of nylon as pylons send signals cross lowlands telling of a dictatorial artistic pylon. Alison suffers outright. It's irredeemable. No comfort from the Manchester terrier who's sniffing for a dunno why, looming, sly. Rivers run. The foosball player Jan Vanegor of Hesselink arranges in the basement. Orders soup and milk and alcohol for Alison, but mostly he. Today is going to be a good day. When the gallery goes bad, when the food goes west, the mill pond's anathema to the frog, when the song from the trio is missing the brio. The escape's a gangplank across the piano. There's a terrier's eyeball in a door gap. Narrow. There's a subtlety in the flip or flick when tying off. When cracking a left-back shot from the boot of the blue in the basement bar, JVOH still combs his hair to the latest guitar sonata in mocking socks. Thumbing insult to the unsuspecting three square men from Wudge, they draw themselves closer to each other, chattering teeth like looms, the goons, cartooning like mafioso, passing flat notes under the noses of the suspecting, gripping round St. Babs, hoping. In luxury, look out. Alison and JVOH rise from their discontent. Their river runs pity through the banks of anger as the cartoon mafioso are sent to mock. The smock sands engulf the bar, a dull encroachment under door, round barstool, where men of greed trudge. A green prerequisite of feral parakeet is to act fast and worry later. The three square men from Wudge sink into this idea as the bird in the corner offers zero mercy. The rising sludge. I'm the thump and the rattle, from milk, from fish, from glass, the International Wool Secretariat, and that interference fit, and that's just it. It's somewhere between 81 and the snarly overfeed, rain, big drips, as it stacks, the Manchester Terrier smells a rank rat. Laughter frescoes all over his canine face as he extracts the fixing mixture out of Alison and the master forgery, leaving the expectant socialist clerk and Talitha Getty feeling woolsacks better. Shot put, burgundy, a choice, old, discuss. Birthing hex triplets, it's comp talent in my sphere as I look, Baths in Eigen Buick, Royal Secura just scrolls, looks on, Olympia. Uprising this side of some plum date, say 1342's not new. Not draped in the possibilities of wilderness, is a splash of a cache of vaulty ori prominence. Hence the knobs getting flighty might just see. The drinking water is as poor as they'd have us be. A shout inside a beetroot. Impressions on skin sound like salmon, taste like D minor. Marigolds in windows, Fontana fills crimson. A deluge on a Tuesday afternoon, rose pricks. Squint at this October hunt for writing in infer. Ballpoints hit, seeping down the breast of the conception of any consequence other than pushing orange bars. A red oyster. How many ones? That dough had no chance. Hex the sniper. Enter the dry cleaners. Have a wafer pink. One day I'll comply to the science. One day, less flesh. The pony voiceovers screw back to the reminder of the diagonal. Teeth, drills, Cadillacs and that. An illustration in a 78-click anthology, a critique of the 6th of May's one after Liberation Day, a brick painter coolly cantering to ballet terms on a fridge magnet so powerful plums dance, as the motion's blocked by a home shirt or a highway mistake, where stripes are sold at an unbelievable rate. Graft analysis, red rum twinned with release. If guns were legal, we'd be drinking them in the north like priests. Thoughts on a postcard penned by the soft digit. To the cover girl, disbelieved. Red currant smudged. Twice this week I've fractured my beak in the top drawer. No brake fluid. A diesel glitch and a mahogany shift. A cutlass nip in a well-worn classic. Tangerine spined. Obtuse. The last of the reds and the on-the-spot pink. Sakura for the run-out groove proves a lip squeeze and a desk dream. In crimson, typewritten and curious, yellow, audacious displays of litmus. Nectarines line narrow streets. Passata for the new starter. A Barca farmer in debt to a taverna shouts like the cartoon politic dog on a stick, adding an uptown dash of turmeric to a dandy in aspic. Watching the broom pushers' last rounds of the boutique, a bespoke sound hounds the roller shutter adorned with graffiti technique. We graze the roster. Team Rouge. Training. Next week. Spelling in songs was not a consideration when surviving, either in your job or when some bloke captures you in a painting, or by the canal and the nodding donkeys, poppies and widened skies and memorials that go on forever. Little fluxus clouds. A temperate mill in the distance, the rivers unstuffed, stalk gives a slightly trite tree some architecture. The low clouds smell like bombs in ditches, removing any idea of a hat. Respectfully. Stop the waffle. Give us a kit. I can do the rest. Biscuit. The arm is high, the symphony of the weave is low. The Mancunian loom is fast, the day of the low wage is ever so slow. The arm is high, the symphony low. The Mancunian is fast, the low wage so slow. The arm is high, the weave is low. The loom is fast, the day is slow. The arm high, symphony low. The loom fast, the wage so slow. The arm high, the weave low. The loom fast, the day slow. The high, the weave low. The fast, day slow. The arm high, the low. The loom fast, the slow. The arm high, the low. The fast, the slow. The high, weave low. The fast, the slow. The high, the low. Loom fast, the slow. The high, the low. The fast, day slow. The high, the low. The fast, the slow. Get too close, it'll take your face off. Get too close, it'll take your face off. Get close, face off. Making charcoal in the rain, dynamic. Ride my bike over the stitches of tights. See through a lowland tunnel. Bend in the binary light. It skips, it skips. You're in the place to erase the idea that you've got no idea how the wind whips. You've 10 metres to negotiate. You're on a Vasselberg trying to make meringue. You're in a sewer hiding from the flak. You're orange, white and black, but certainly all green. Harvesting the slack of the de facto capitals of stretching cloth with an italic Thursday at your back. Pick a suitor for the woman on the right in L.S. Lowry's The Fight, as the land scarpers the light, the rain, the light rain of another useless king. A swing in chemistry reminds me kindly of sitting slinky where the snow grows, Helsinki, on a happening early afternoon, sun's beak steeping in ceramic gradations of dynamic manifestations for consumption later, data. We lees mere about the dead, and we can thread in our heads, make a key that fits the lock and burn the house attached to it. Wits and wafters, fawning friendly Friesland, no longer grumbling solo east of Oldham. We're felting Fletcher's Titfers, counteracting tridents, bow arching in the Hanseatic north. We're giving it hills where there was none before, dry stoning ocean titans who put parish before plasterwork. Dauber Sassoon 5 point on thatch on that gaff. Where you can't grow sometimes there's water, famous cows, know-hows, running, brass display bands I've never been in. A blazer, a warm sympathetic hand, there's the exchange rain rate. There's a name, adding 24 to a 5-year plan. Disclaimer framer, around 87 down we moved. I went to Friesland School where it was all Pop King cassettes, NFL cards and Fat Willie Surf Shack tees. Was in Friesland brass band with my brother when I barely played a note. Blue Cola, there were bands from Germany who came for Whit Friday, that heady festival of drink. And we rehearsed and played football at Friesland Church Hall to a Friesland vicar from Friesland Parish who had a Friesland dog in the Friesland rain, but no Friesland cows lying though. Petty obligation, riotous assembly, the devil dosing in this shoddy fever. I was a healthy and strong boy when I went to the mill. I was 8 years old, I could walk from Leeds to Bradford without difficulty and little fatigue. Now I can't stand without crutches, I cannot walk at all, perhaps I might creep upstairs, backwards. My limbs began to fail. It came on with great pain in my legs and knees. I am very much fatigued. I cannot work the mill in forever days like these. That streak of indigo is all belt-driven. That piano piece, that stenciled peace sign is all belt-driven. That gauze pause in the river-killing rye-smile mix is fixed and belt-driven. Kite marks on carts for carrying any generation away are only appealing to the wheeling through beckoned branches of the rubber band system to that very day. It's traditional. The devil demands that millwork grease is spread on the splice of a split pin for a cognitive display, and belt-driven is only the English way. And yes, you read right the sign. It is a given. The tail of the dog laughs last when wefters and the warpers shuttle past on a last gasp, basking in forgetting the right questions to ask perennially. Maybe it's just us and thee who even considers such, because after all it's just a stretch and reach for these tuts about nothing. It's nothing, really, it's nothing. Wages and conditions and workmates are fine thread experts at nothing. At less than a trophy pudding rate after a plate of just that. Nothing. Yarns. Did you hear what happened to that kid? Stole daffodils and reckoned it was okay to take them from the grave. From all his sisters who'd given lives to the loom. Flowers growing from the mizzle of the Manchester Terriers in Eastern Netherlands, nearly. Taking a stool from a furious school. No grudge. Here's the berry slugs singing in wild wonder with cotton sway. Far away, as with bone fingers. At least the mill will spring. Hard hearing, anything other than salad. Here's the trick. Think of machinery. Recreating Polish looms using Mancunian manufacturing. Hear me? Piping artworks rattle like mousing dogs. Away from the textile. Can I sell you this potato shaving? Can I use the graveyard for a meeting next week? Thinking not of when industrial green, keen into the river, does seep. Or all the herring riding backwards bikes. But the lass who's holding court is an actual masterpiece. Cannot fleece his fellow taverners. They got grief to sell from the weft and weave. Pre-chew tulips. This light from the form of the function of the window, the little tiny mohair dangling a front and eye like God's own earring. In a daring new romantic real estate 16th century hellhole, glamour place, visiting those who bring us the mead in diminished clothes. Oh my, it's minus green, this theme. It's definitely on a barge though. Manchester, Enschede, 468. Enschede to Łódź, 938. Revenge art accessible through spooling. Models own forgery. Pea supers down Bengal Street. Ancoats. A pragmatic tyranny. 32 to 33 weavers singing blood and justice. This line. Flowers bloom in the churchyard. This line. Did you ever see a roast goose fly straight into your mouth? Coffins getting smaller. Forge master. Liberty trees are planted from the Thames to the Tame to the 20 Canal. Narrow shop windows. Concrete. Sardines.
Man, you told me you had the bricks. I told him I got the chips. Come holler at me whenever you're ready to get it cracking. You ain't never lied.